If it is or if it ain't, it's going to come out. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspirational juice. It is May the 4th, 2023, and today the topic is Strive for Peace. Good morning, everyone. Good morning and happy Thursday. I hope that you all had a great day yesterday. Mine was just fine. It's May 4th. Look, May the 4th be with you to those that celebrate the whole Star Wars situation. Tomorrow's Cinco de Mayo, right? Yeah. Speaking of, since we're talking about days, y'all know that tomorrow is Friday. We have a new episode of the GSL Talk Show that will be coming out. And I'll be talking to Mr. Nee and Yeti. I call him Brother Nee, so y'all can tune into that episode tomorrow at 7 p.m. As for me yesterday, so I did not go hustling in the streets. And I was thinking about going down and visiting some family and taking a look at some things or whatever, but I didn't end up doing that either. I guess felt led to just stay on home. Well, I guess things happen for a reason, y'all, because my husband went out and about, and then next thing I know, I guess without getting all into it, I guess he needed me to come get him or whatever the case is. It was very interesting because I was like, what? Good thing I wasn't driving, and good thing I didn't go down, to my hometown and whatnot, because obviously you needed me up here. So, it pays, y'all. It pays to listen to the Lord and seek the Lord about what to do and whatnot. Because, basically the situation would have been a little bit sticky, right? If I was in anywhere else other than home. So God be the glory for a little wisdom and everything like that. Man, speaking of as well, I know those that are in Atlanta may have heard of the things that was going on up here. I only know a little bit about it. I don't know much, but I did hear that there was a shooting happening up here and whatnot. Hate to hear, obviously, any of that going on and whatnot. I don't know if the person was caught yet either. But yeah, so praying for the families and whatnot that are affected by that, and everything like that. So, whew. Outside of that, in regards to yesterday, that's it. I don't really have anything too significant to share. So let's get into how I got to this topic today. Strive for peace. So, long story short, I woke up, I guess I would say at the sound of my alarm around 4. I got distracted. I was doing a little this, doing a little that, checking up on things, and I received some information. I'll put it like that. I received some information, and and after receiving the information, I just was like kind of confused because on one hand, you're like, what, huh? And I guess the Lord was showing me through my life, or He was answering the questions for me as I started to seek, right? So anyway, I listened to the prayer meditation. I did all that, and then of course, the thing was still on my mind, and okay. I'm saying a lot without saying, so my apologies. But some things y'all may notice, and some things you may not notice. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's for me to go deep into what's going on behind the scenes. But I'll just say that, there's some transitions happening. I'll put it like that. There's some transitions happening and whatnot. And, on one hand, I'm like, huh? Why don't you just, I don't know if I want to get, I don't know if I want to say that. But basically, at some point, I was looking into different ideas, different topics, trying to figure out, like, because I feel like there's a pattern that happened in my life as well. And I'm like, well, why did this happen like this, Lord? Like, are you showing me something that you feel, or are you showing me something with me going through this thing again, or just different stuff like that. We so quick to make things about us, right? What does this have to do with me? um, so I mean, I guess just like any other human, I was doing that as well. And then I guess eventually, as I was looking into different ideas, looking into things like, maybe I should, study about leaving, maybe I should study about, maybe God is showing me that, this is how he feels when people leave him, all these different things coming into my heart and mind. And ultimately, as I was looking into one of those random topics, I came across the verse that says strive for peace, and that stood out in my heart and mind. So then I started looking up verses centered around that. And then that's ultimately where the inspiration for the conversation today has come from. Strive for peace. You know, I'm trying to figure out how much I should share with y'all, but I think before I get into the verses, maybe it's okay for me to say, maybe I don't know, we'll see. But basically, as I was, seeking these verses centered around strive for peace, I felt like the Lord reminded me of what I experienced last week. Now, again, I told y'all that I have been going back and forth about an opportunity, X, Y, and Z, and ultimately, I respectfully declined the opportunity. I didn't tell y'all something that happened behind the scenes, but without me getting again too deep into details, I would say the response from the individual when I respectfully declined was one of understanding, but at the same time there was some little things said where it was like, oh well, don't you need this opportunity, X, Y, and Z type of vibe. And on one hand, maybe I do, right? Maybe I do need the opportunity, or maybe I do need, what the opportunity could provide. But um I guess I value my peace, right, above that. I value whatever the Lord wants to do with me, for me, and through me, right, above what maybe someone else would think would be more important. Um, and so, although again, I did receive understanding, in regards to me declining, but at the same time, I did receive that little bit of like, or maybe like that little jab, you know what I'm saying? And so, as I was now in this situation, right, I'm the person on the other end, if you want to imagine. And so, I guess the Lord was reminding me of that this morning, and I think that has humbled me, right? Humbled me and my opinion, right, about what I may feel or think about, um, again, being on the opposite end. Someone may be, respectfully declining me, right? And so, um, I guess after reading these verses this morning that I'm going to share with you guys, as well as like, again, God reminded me of, my own situation and all these different things. Um, I want to handle this, in a Christ-like manner and give to this individual what was not given to me, right? I want to give the understanding and without the jab. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, people have to do what's best for them, and if people don't believe, you know, whatever you believe don't mean that it's, you know, um, again, people have to do what's best for them. I'll just leave it at that. So let's get into these verses, y'all. Strive for peace. So Hebrews 12:14, it says, strive for peace with everyone and for the holiness without which no one will see the Lord. So I've heard this verse throughout my life, man. There was a church that my mom used to go to that or that we would visit sometimes, and they would end with that verse as a blessing. Um it will sound a little different when they said it, but I mean, we know that, different translations of the Bible have, a few words might be different or whatever the case is, but the overall message is there, which is strive for peace with everyone and everything like that. Now, I might need to go deeper when it comes to this other part, saying for the holiness without which no one will see the Lord. But just off the top of my head, looking at this, um, you know, saying, without holiness, no one will see the Lord. But hey, we can all go deeper and see what else the Lord has to say to us with that. So here's another verse, y'all. Matthew 5:9. It says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God." Yeah, I mean, I guess obviously I ended up thinking about a variety of peacemakers. Those that strived for peace in their lifetimes, X, Y, and Z. And on one hand, if I sit here and think about Martin Luther King again, some people may look at him or, his way or whatever the case was, or even look at this verse as with some contempt, being like, oh, how can you strive for peace when you in the midst of adversity? How can you strive for peace when someone does this or that? X, Y, and Z, and I mean, again, I think if we all just humbled ourselves, right, and understand that at the end of the day, you want the vengeance, you want all the things, you want revenge or whatever the case is, but who are you at the end of the day? There's plenty of reasons and things why people may want to seek revenge on you. So would you want grace and mercy? We should ask ourselves these things when we, think about all of that. Now, I mean, there's ways to get back at people, and biblically, and the way to really, really get back at people is in the Go Deeper section. So y'all can check that out and read it for, at your own leisure and everything like that. That is how you could truly get back at somebody. Now, I'm not saying do it to get back at somebody, but I mean, if you really want to get back at somebody, this is how you do it. Because even, you know what, Lord, okay. So I'm gonna share, if I share a little bit of what's going on behind the scenes, not too much, but basically, say for example, maybe a month or two, month or two ago, when there was some contention, I put it like that. And I handled it in a different way, probably in an unbiblical way, in an ungodly way. My situation would be a little bit different right now. I would have been left out in the cold in some areas. I would have been left in confusion in some areas. I would have been, probably scrambling for straws and whatever the case is. There's a lot of things that would be different, but because of, allowing God to lead and guide me, right, on how to handle the situation X, Y, and Z, even though things may not be smoothing out the way that I would have hoped, right? There's more peace now with the transition, right? There's, things are not, I'm not grasping for straws and trying to figure out what I'm going to do and all this different type of stuff. Like on the flip side, it, because of God, right? This situation is like a smooth transition at the moment. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if anything else is going, I don't know. I don't know the future or anything like that. But at least for where I am right now, I'm still at peace. I'm still at peace about the whole thing. So, so there you go. I mean, this is, I guess it pays to be a peacemaker. That's why I share that. At the end of the day, I'm just sharing that it pays to be a peacemaker. It pays to listen to God. It pays to handle things the way He says do it. Because at the end of the day, like the word tells us, all things work together for the good of those that love God. And I add on even things you don't understand, but that's just something I add on to just kind of remind myself. Because there's going to be plenty of things that you don't fully understand. Like I said, I don't fully understand why things had to go the way they did, right? I don't fully understand, a lot of things. But basically, I can still have peace in the midst of it because I put my faith and trust in the Lord. So something to keep in mind, y'all. Blessed are the peacemakers. So then Romans 14:19, it says, so then let us pursue what makes for peace and for mutual upbuilding. So, yeah, yeah, let's pursue that, you know. Um, yeah. Yeah, this whole thing about mutual upbuilding is standing out in my heart and mind at the moment. Um, and see, that's the thing. Like at the end of the day, like when I told y'all last week, I was like, you know what, y'all, I had to make a decision for me in this moment. That's X, Y, and Z, and that's what people got to do, right? If people don't feel like is I guess mutually beneficial, whatever case is, there you might start to see some changes or some separations or whatever the case is, and again, people have to make their own decisions at the end of the day. People have their own free will, have to do what's best for them and their livelihoods, their families, whatever the case is. And so there's reasons why people, make decisions. And you may not fully understand that, right? Like I said, the counterpart of the situation last week may not have fully understood why I decided to, decline, whatever the case is. I may not fully understand on the flip side why this situation is taking place the way it is. However, again, all things work together for the good of those that love God. At the end of the day, God has the ultimate plan and he's in control of all things. And so, yeah, so let us continue to pursue peace and, or like the verse here says, literally pursue what makes for peace and for mutual upbuilding. So, yeah, I ain't got nothing else to say about that. Let's keep going. Romans 12:18. It says, if possible, so far as it depends on you, live peaceably with all. It didn't just say with this type of person and that type of person. It didn't just say, oh, with this group and X, Y, and Z. It says, do your best to live peacefully with all. Now, there's going to be times that we got to stand up, right? There's going to be times that we got to, fight back or whatever the case is, and there's times for that and everything. But what we talking about today is living peacefully. Yeah, as far as it depends on you, live peaceably with all. I mean, we can seek the Lord on how to do that and everything like that. And that's pretty much it, y'all. I mean, I got one more verse I feel like sharing, and it's Matthew 7:12. It says, so whatever you wish that others would do to you, do also to them, for this is the law and the prophets. At the end of the day, like I said, I want to, do unto others as I have wished people would do unto me. And because, right, I know how it feels to get the understanding with a little jab. Like I said, I'm going to do my best to just give the understanding and not give the jab. Because at the end of the day, that's what I would hope that people would do to me. And, again, I question this concept. I know it's called the golden rule. And I'm like, well, Lord, if people do to you, then what you supposed to do to them? Because that's what they want done to them, because that's what they did to you. And again, that's a immature mindset, okay? The word is clear that we need to do unto others what we would want them to do to us. And that means regardless of what they do to you, and I know that may be pulp, you might not want to hear that, X, Y, and Z. But imagine, right, if we really truly lived in a world that did that. Like each and every person did unto others what they would want to be done unto them. Hey, I mean, that's just something to think about this morning, y'all. There you go. Your girl was studying Strive for Peace, and that is what, I guess it's the juice this morning. So, friends, let's see. We got the Bible verse of today, and it's Colossians 4:2. It says, continue in prayer and watch in the same with thanksgiving. Friends, I hope that you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. Are you engaged, married, separated? Friends, don't give up. Let no man separate what God has joined together, not even you. Transform your marriage and your idea of marriage today with Marriage Reignited. This program is a insightful look into marriage and what are the true needs of his and her. You guys can get a discount when you use Miracle Video or Miracle Combo. Miracle Video will get you $5 off of the video. and Miracle Combo will give you $10 off of the video and book. Check out marriagereunited.com for more information. That's MARRIEGENITED.com. And again, that's Miracle Video, MIRACLEVIDEO, or Miracle Combo, MIRACLECOMBO.